Welcome, it's a great day to be a miner. In today's video we got some new hardware. This is the Canaan Avalon Nano 3. We're going to unbox this thing, we're going to get it set up, we're going to go over all of the specs, the features, and then most importantly we're going to tell you whether or not you should buy it. But first, spin that intro. Okay, so first things first, we went ahead and plugged in our power supply, our brick to the outlet, actually to our Drock meter, and then we have our blue light showing power, and then we're just going to go ahead and plug in our unit. Where's our plug-in here? There's our plug-in right here beside the back. There, it's a USB-C. We're going to plug it straight in. If I can get it in there. There we go. All right, so she's booting up. Let's see what she does. It's showing a spin. It's showing a 0. It's showing a number 3. It does show me the IP, but then it flashed back to the Avalon Nano logo. And now it says, please connect the heater nano to please connect the heater underscore nano underscore FCC0, and then it's showing 00 for the clock and a date of January 1st, 2007. So yeah, the next step is to go ahead and download the app that goes with it, and right inside of your manual, the very first page, I believe it is, has the second page has a QR code that you can scan to download the app. We're going to go ahead and get that app downloaded, and then it went to Canaan or Canaan, whichever it is. I'm going to go with Canaan because that just sounds more familiar with me. It might be butchering it, but I'm going with Canaan. All right, so when it finally loaded, it says Avalon Remote App, everything is under control, and this is www.canaan.io, and it shows the apps on the Apple Store and the Google Play. So we're going to go to the Google Play because I am an Android user, and then I'm going to hit install, and it's going to download and install the app from the Google Play. It's a small app, 12.8 megabytes. So what does our screen actually show? I actually feel a little heat here, which is interesting. And then we're going to open the app. And then it's going to say my devices, and it says nothing because I haven't added the device yet. Up in the top right corner of the app, up here, it shows a little plus sign, just a little plus sign. I'm going to hit that plus sign to try to add the device. Then it's going to say devices found, searching for a new device, add equipment and operation. So we're going to do search. And then it wants us to use the device location. We're going to do only while using the app. And now it is searching for new devices, and right away it says nano3 underscore FCC0, and it gives me the option to connect. I'm going to connect. And now it says connecting, it is spinning. And then it says remote will use a temporary Wi-Fi network to connect to the device heater underscore nano underscore FCC0, and we're going to hit connect. Now it says connecting to device. Connection is, now it jumps to select your Wi-Fi, and this device only supports 2.4 gigahertz, so that's important to know that this won't actually work on a 5 gigahertz network. It has to be a 2.4. So then it's going to say select your Wi-Fi. I'm going to select one of my Wi-Fi networks. I'm going to select the one that has the best signal in here. I have 3 different ones, so I'm going to select the one that I think will work best in this location. And then I'm going to put in my Wi-Fi password. And then we're going to hit save. And now it says getting IP address. The screen keeps flashing around. It's actually slightly warm, which is weird because I wouldn't think it could even start hashing if it's not connected to the network, but it's doing enough to where it's warm to the touch. And it still says getting IP, it's spinning. So now the date says 12/31/1969 at 9:04, which is hours off. It says 61 degrees in there. And it says hash rate 2.2. I don't know how it's hashing with no connection. And then it says, please check the internet. And it's actually using 65 watts just sitting here. So it is trying to hash. Connection to Wi-Fi timed out. So now I need to switch my Wi-Fi connection back to off of the heater Nano. I need to switch it back to the actual Wi-Fi network so that we're on the same network. Now it is connected back to the network. And now I can save my Wi-Fi. So yeah, now that the Wi-Fi is connected, I have a nice little dashboard here, and it says Nano 3 and it says living room. You can hit the little checkbox and edit it. It says heater control, low, medium, high. So that's your hash rate control. We'll do a close-up of this real quick. And then there's the lights control. It says on. So yeah, the light is on there. Okay, so now you just hit the light control. Let's try to turn it off, and it says opening LED, and there it should be light off. And I actually switched it from low, which it started on, to medium, and now it's showing me 92 on there, and it has jumped up to 92 watts, so nearly 100 watts. Let's see, I haven't put any pool information. I haven't changed any of my worker or anything like that. It did actually pull in the date and time because that was not in there before. So that's a good thing. And then let's turn the LEDs. Let's play with the LEDs real quick. We'll show you the light control, and then we'll actually play with the lighting modes on here real quick before we go into the different power modes and setting up the actual pool. We'll do good screenshots of this stuff so that you can get a better actual visual on the screen rather than me trying to hold up the phone. But basically, once you've already connected, you go in and you can see the very top has heater control. You've got low, medium, high. That changes the heat output because that actually changes the hash rate and the amount of power going into the device. Below that is our light control. There is a toggle that says on and off. And then you can actually change the modes. You've got stay, which is just your always on. You've got a flashing mode. You've got flashing. You've got breathing, which should be like a pulsing in and out. We've got a loop. Not sure what the loop does. The loop is just going from one color to the next color to the next color to the next color. So then if we select either stay, flash, or breathing, we can actually have the brightness bar below it. If you're on loop, it just stays fully bright and goes between the colors, but you have a brightness bar, 100%. Let's go to stay so that it's just always on, and then we can, let's get a little more height, better for the camera here. There we go. And now we can actually adjust the brightness just by sliding the toggle. Now we're at about half bright. And then you can turn it way down or you can turn it way up. So this is actually kind of nice for like a bedroom or office when you're working at night. And then below that, below the brightness, you have color temperature. And you have a little slider again. And we can make it 100% color temperature. We can make it negative 100 color temperature, which doesn't change much because I'm on white, but you can go to your palette. There's a button for palette, and the palette is where you can select all kinds of different colors. So let's go full red spectrum, which is more of a pink there, but that might be because my color temperature is at negative 100. So let's go fully 100% color temperature. still kind of pink, to be honest. The red looks kind of pink. Let's go back to our palette and let's change our color temperature back to the right into the middle. And then we're going to go back to our palette. And now let's select some colors here and see what it does. Ah, there's our bright red. Now let's go for more of a yellow on yellow. That's kind of white, but let's go to a blue and bluish purple. It's not too bad. So this is an interesting, I'm not sure how much I like the actual color control. It's kind of doesn't seem to do as much as I would have hoped it would do. But yet it's still pretty neat. So yeah, there is the color. Now, the most important part, yada, 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 the heat output, the colors, the display, yeah, beautiful. More importantly, we need to get this thing mining so that we can actually benefit. This is really, at 4 terahash, this isn't designed to get you constant income. And if you're just trying to mine, buy one of these to mine to get daily rewards, you're going to be sorely disappointed and it's going to take forever to ROI. This is more for solo mining and then for the benefit of being a cool device and also for the benefit of the heat. For solo mining, you could either do BTC, which is very unlikely but does happen. You can do other coins off the algorithm like a Bitcoin Cash or one of those other SHA-256, Digibytes. Those things you're going to have a much higher chance of hitting a block, but with a much lower payout. So for me, I'm going to run, since I'm getting 5 of these, I'm going to probably run 3 on Bitcoin, and then I'll run 2 others on 2 other algorithms, just so that I can see if I can get some blocks, some action, and see if, you know, someday I'll actually get some sort of payout from these things. So now we want to go into the mining. Right below your color palette, there is a mining management. And from mining management, you have number 1, pool address, worker 1 name, password, which is optional, your pool 2 address, worker 2, password 2, pool 3 address, and your worker and your password and your save. Very simplistic. It is defaulting to TCP //stratum.brains.com, and that's BRAIINS.com :3333. That is your default pool for brains.com, and Brains is actually really synonymous with Bitcoin mining and actually the software and the firmware that go on a lot of these devices. So yeah, that's where the Brains come from. And even on the bottom of these, where it has the sticker, it actually says shop.canaan.io, and then at the very bottom says Brains, scan QR code to check your BTC. So that actually, if you wanted to scan down here, will take you to the Brains pool, which is kind of neat. There's 2 QR codes. One goes to the Canaan website, one goes to Brain, where the pool is mining. So we'll go ahead and pop the default address up here. But the issue with this is that this is for your pool, but you need your actual worker. For your worker, that's going to be your Bitcoin address your Bitcoin address dot your worker. So your worker is your Bitcoin wallet address. Then your worker name, if I'm having multiples of these, I might name one Nano 1, Nano 2, or I could even go with the color scheme and go Nano Yellow, Nano 3 Yellow, Nano 3 Navy, and then that's way I can easily identify. So that's what we're going to do next. We're going to go get our Bitcoin address. We're going to put it under our worker 1 name, and then we're going to put for a password, we're just going to use X, or you can, it says optional, but to initial setup, I'm going to leave it on brains.com to start off with. Then I'm going to put my Bitcoin address as my worker 1 dot, and then I'm going to go Nano 3 just for my initial setup, and then we'll actually get it mining to where it could benefit us. So let's do that. Via the apps going to our mining, we had to actually it didn't let us block out the pool address 2 and 3. It actually forces me to put in a 2 and 3. So I left the pool addresses that came stock. They're just 3 different variations to connect to the Brains pool, but then I switched and put in my actual Bitcoin address .avalon nano, and I put that for all 3 of the workers, and then I put password X on all 3, and now I'm going to go ahead and hit save. And then it's saying, warning, the machine will automatically restart after saving. Are you sure you want to continue? Yes, we're going to continue. And then it says succeeded. And the screen did just flash here. So I know that it's actually trying to restart. And it is spinning the little round circle in the middle of the thing. And it is starting to read. And then it says the icon is back up there again, the Avalon Nano. And just real quick, conversely, once you've already connected and set up the device, it will put the IP of the device, your local IP, right here on the screen. If you want to change any of these settings without actually using the app, you can open a web browser as long as your device is on the same network. You go to whatever that IP address is, the 192.168.whatever, the IP address that is assigned to this device. And then you can actually get into the firmware and change the settings on it via the web browser rather than going to the app. So now let's see where this thing stands since it has rebooted. Make sure that it has reconnected. The power supply is, you know, it's surprisingly warm, but it's actually pretty hot in here. It's over 80 degrees in the mining layer as we speak. So right away it says 87 degrees, but the hash is still showing 0. 88 degrees, so I assume that it's still working on connecting to the pool. All right, so after the reboot, it took about 2 to 3 minutes to finally get going, to get back to hashing. It took a while to connect to the Wi-Fi actually, but once it finally connected on the Wi-Fi on its own, it instantly really started heating back up. It now shows a hash rate of 1.45 terahash, and we're on medium mode. So I think it's actually still building up because it took a little while. The power brick is warming up, and it shows that it's using 99 watts, 98.9 watts at the wall. But then it's giving me the please connect to the internet again. So I might switch the network that it's on to see if it'll connect better. But it's showing that it shows that it's hashing on the screen, and it feels like it's hashing, or it wouldn't be heating up. All right, so I just switched the mode right here, and I went back to low because, man, it's hot in here, and it's instantly dropping down. It was at 98 watts. It's down to 85, 84, 83, 81. So yes, it's dropping back, and it should drop back down to around 65 watts at the wall. Let's see what it shows now. It is showing it was up to 3 terahash, so the medium mode was working how it should, but that should be dropping. So I've noticed the hash rate will take a little while to read properly on here, so it is dropping down like it should. It is giving me constantly, please check the internet though, so that's a little worrisome that it's giving me that, and maybe I'll switch the Wi-Fi network. But let's go check it out at the actual IP address, and I should be able to check that from my phone. So let's open a web browser. It should be on the same network, and then we're going to go to 192.168, and then whatever my IP address is showing here, which is .0.17. Okay, so yes, it jumped right to a login, and I believe it's just root, and that's kind of common with a lot of ASICs. We're gonna try root as our username and password out the gate. Root. Yeah, it logged right in. It went to our browser. We'll show some screenshots of this from the actual web browser rather than here, because this won't really do it justice trying to show you from a website on a phone browser. But But right off the side, you've got your overview, configuration, network, log, system, password. So once you do log in, you want to change your password. And initially, as soon as it logged in, it was showing the 3 terahash, but now the real-time hash rate has dropped down to 2.5 or 2.35, which I do expect it down around 2 terahash, since we are now running 62.5 watts at the wall because we are on low power mode. So there you go. It is showing that it's hashing. It shows that it's working. We haven't checked at the pool yet. So to check at the pool, you're going to take that same pool address that was out of your app. You're going to plug it into a web browser, and then we should be able to put our BTC address in there and find our actual worker. Let's see if it's reading at the pool level. For that, let's go over to our web browser. Okay, so here we are. We're over in brains.com/pool. Now, for this site, they want you to log in, and you have to hit start mining down in the middle. Then it wants your email, and it wants you to set up a username and a create password and a repeat your password, and you need to sign up to actually use this. So this time we're actually going to do it, but usually I pick pools that you don't have to actually go through those hoops. And to find a pool that you want, it's really easy. So you would go to mining pool stats.stream. So that's how you would find whatever pools you're looking for. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to put your type of coin that you're looking for. You're looking for Bitcoin. So you're going to select your Bitcoin up here. And it actually gives you other coins that run off the SHA-256 when you search, or anything that's related to Bitcoin. So you got Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin SV. So you can search by algorithm, but for now we're just going to Bitcoin itself. And then here is a whole big laundry list of pools right here. And what we're looking for a solo pool, and these are listed in order of hash rate. So the ones with the most hash rate will be at the top, and your little small pools will be at the bottom. And I usually try to go for somewhere in the middle, because just my personal preference, I think the bigger pools cater to the bigger miners, and I feel like the little pools just don't have enough weight to do what you want to do. So next, we're looking for a solo pool. Right here is brains.com, and it shows right here right away, but we are looking for a better solo pool. CK pool is a big one that a lot of people use, and it's got a ton of hash rate there. What I don't like about it is it doesn't have a nice graphical user interface, a nice GUI. Like a GUI is what you actually see, your visual. You don't see like the actual hash rate tracking up and down. It's just kind of displays your address in text, so it'll say your current hash rate, what you've earned, and all that in just a web browser with plain white text. Really boring. So I've been using VKBit on my other solo miners, but there are some other good ones. So there was a solo right here is the CK, as we this LuckyMonster.pro. I haven't had any experience with it, but I really dig it, and I think that's the one that I am going to try next. So LuckyMonster. Let's see if you need to have a login for this. This shows their stats, and then right away you just put in your Bitcoin mining address. So yeah, it doesn't look like you have to set up a login. You would just go to here, you would select what type of coin on their pool, and then you would put your wallet address. So I'm going to try to mine this. So let's see if they give us a get started. Right here is your pool addresses, your stratum. They have a normal difficulty and a nice hash, so obviously you're going to do your normal difficulty for these little guys. Payout scheme is solo, pool fee 0.5%, not bad, and then it tells you what the current block reward is, which is 3.125, because recently we had gone through a halvening. So yeah, so that's not too shabby. And then they actually have a estimated time to find by your hash rate, which is interesting. So they have a little mini calculator here. So we have terahashes. We have up to 4 terahashes. And it's saying it might take me 2,902 years to find a block with 4 terahashes. Yeah, I don't know about this calculator here. I don't think that's a accurate calculator, but it's interesting to see that. So there it is right there. Yeah, but we're going to take this pool URL right here, and we're going to plug it in with our app, and we're going to restart our miner, and that's what we're going to actually mine to, rather than the brains.com address. So let's do a little screenshot in case we want to go back to the brains. We're going to go to mining management. Then we're going to do a screenshot. Then we're going to change pool address 1. And we're going to take out, we're going to leave the stratum plus TCP. And then we're going to do : / BTC dot LuckyMonster dot pro, and then we got to make sure that we put our port, which is so you put semicolon 7112. So it's stratum plus TCP. Everything looks good on that. And now we are going to go hit save. Save, and then it's going to say, do you want to restart? So there we go. We have now saved our new configuration, and it should be restarting our Nano 3 as we speak. All right, so it took about 10 minutes, and now we're over at the pool. We refreshed on LuckyMonster.pro, and there is our specific miner, and it's showing that we've earned 0 BTC, 0 blocks found, but it does show our current hash rate at 1.46 and 1 worker online. It has a nice hash rate graph, and it shows it's only been actually showing for about 2 minutes there. And then it shows your worker, and then it shows at the very bottom, because I only have 1 worker, so 1 worker is online. And it shows the name of the worker. Let's move the logo. And there down at the bottom now shows our worker, the Avalon Nano, because I put my BTC address .Avalon Nano. That's my worker name. And there it is showing on the pool. And then if I go into the 192, the IP local address, it does show it hashing at 1.51 terahash real-time hash rate. And then it has all of your actual stats on here. I don't know how well that'll show up, but so yeah, there it is on the actual logging into the device itself. This is the pool itself, and then of course you have the app where you go in and you set your different power modes and your different settings in there, your mining settings, and of course your color palette at the bottom. So that's all set up. It is mining. On low mode, we're going to go ahead and change it to high mode. Let's see how that does. It says change successful, and it did not actually make us reboot. I just selected the high mode over here, and then it said applied. So it should start really ramping up. It should start getting hotter, and then of course we'll be able to check to make sure that it is mining accurately at the pool and in the device itself. So that's what we're going to do next, and then we'll cut back over and we'll talk about where you can buy these and if you should buy these and who these are targeted to. So let's do it. All right, so we are fully hashing. We're on the full power mode, and it is reading on the pool. It did take about 15 minutes at least to get the full hash rate to show on the LuckyMonster Pool. So yeah, that pool takes a little while to calculate and bring it all in. On the device itself, it's showing 3.86 terahash, and it's showing 124 watts, whereas at the wall, I'm showing 135 watts at the wall. So it's fairly close, and since it's over 3.8, so minus 5% would be 3.8 terahash. So yeah, it is within the tolerance, but it's not one of the golden silicon chips, so it is what it is. It is mining away. So now let's discuss who this is for and ROI and whether or not you should buy this thing. So first and foremost, will this thing make you rich? Maybe. The only way that these kind of devices are going to make you rich is if you are running solo on a solo pool and you actually hit a block. That's the only way that you're going to make really good returns on these kind of guys. Sure, you could put them on some of the lesser SHA-256 coins, DigiBuy, Bitcoin Cash, etc., and you could hit some blocks. You have way higher chance of hitting blocks there, solo mining, but you're also looking at way smaller payouts. So if you're looking for incremental pay, you're not going to put one of these on Bitcoin. You're not going to make much returns. You can't pool mine with these on something like Bitcoin because there's no chance you're going to make even what you're paying in the electricity. So you need to put these on solo mining. These are really great solo lottery ticket type miners. In my opinion, these are not made to run just to mine coins because they make tons of really high-powered ASICs that can do way better than these. So you're not going to compete with those big guys. These are for solo mining. Now, who should buy these and should you buy these? I've had a number of different solo lottery type devices. I've had the Jingle Miner. It's just a little itty bitty guy and it runs in the kilo hashes, and it's like $50 and it really has 0.000000001% chance of ever hitting a block. And basically all it is a cool little display that you plug into the computer that has a magnet, and you can use it as a clock and something cool to hook to your computer. That's about it. Also, we have the Mars Lander V2. Beautiful device. I have a full video on it up above. Make sure to go check it out. Picked up from Bitcoin Merch. It's an amazing device. It looks cool. It runs off the Compact F USB sticks. I have 4 additional sticks. It is running 1.4, give or take, terahash. The total cost on the Mars Lander setup was a little over $1,000 for the entire setup. For 1.4 terahash, over $1,000. This guy, however, cost me less than $200. This one does up to 4 terahash, and of course I told you 3.86 is what it's currently running. 3.85 is what it's currently running. Yeah, and it's a beautiful device. It's sleek. Of course, it doesn't have all the cool looking nerdy stuff that the Mars Lander V2 does, but man, you could buy 4 or 5 of these for the same cost. And yeah, that choice is up to you. So who do I think these are for? Like any lottery mining device, I really think those are only for people with expendable income. If you can't afford to waste $200 and maybe never make anything back, and you can't afford the up to 140 watts of power usage that you're wasting just mining away and possibly never hitting anything, then don't buy it, please. This is not financial advice, but don't go put yourself in a bad financial situation buying hardware that you cannot afford. If your credit cards are maxed out and you don't have cryptocurrency laying around to spend, don't go buy one of these. These are for people that want a nice little cool device or want to be part of something. You want to be part of mining and you are not super familiar with mining. Hey, this is a great entry point. This is a basic ASIC. Anyway, it's a basic ASIC. That means this has a lot of similar setups to big boy, real ASICs. And maybe this gets you interested, or maybe this satisfies that appetite to get involved in mining. And maybe you use this to springboard into other things, or maybe you decide that, hey, it's not for me. But either way, this is a low barrier of entry. It's an amazing device. It's beautiful. And yeah, so you make that decision on your own. Now, one final thing before we go ahead and close out and get out of here. We forgot one of the most important things that you do when you get a new piece of hardware. Okay, everybody, a moment of silence, please. Ah, the satisfying peel. The satisfying peel of the brand new cellophane. Oh, but wait, there's more. We got one on the power supply. Always make sure you take them off the power supply. And there's a good reason why. The power supply gets warm. This is running 140 watts, 135 watts at the wall. And it's hard for me to hold. And so if you take this extra little plastic off, that actually lets a little more of the heat out. That lets more insulation, or takes more insulation off. Don't leave the plastic on the power supply brick. Would I be comfortable running this 24/7 at the full power mode with this type of brick? Absolutely. Because this is warm, but it's not hot. Like, I can hold it without burning myself. My man Red Panda was using an aftermarket one, and it gets toasty hot to where I would be pretty terrified to use it. So my advice, if you do invest in one of these, put the little extra investment and buy the provided power supply. That way you are using something that's designed for it, that doesn't get crazy hot, and that you're not going to create a fire risk, because yeah, that would be bad. So yeah, that about wraps it up. What do you think about the Canaan Avalon Nano 3? Make sure to comment down below. Will you be buying, or will you be nah? Either way, comment down below. Tell me why. Tell me if you've already bought one. Tell me what your favorite pool is. I'd be curious. What's your favorite Bitcoin solo mining pool? I've used CK pool. I've used VK Bit. I've used this LuckyMonster now, and of course Brains pool. So those are the 4 that I've actually tried on so far, and I have a number of lottery devices. So we'll keep trying different pools, but let me know what your favorite pool is. And I think that about wraps it up. I almost forgot, where can you pick these up? So initially I picked this up from Indiegogo. That is a site that does new projects, and of course I think they get a little cut, but it's basically like a booster site, and they do brand new projects as they're launching, and they take, you know, they try to crowdsource to fundraise to get things in production, and then they see how much interest there are in devices, and then once things are funded well enough, they go into production, and then it's usually a first come, first serve. So these you can get them still from Indiegogo. Mineshop.euy, I've got one coming from them that should be here any minute now, any day now. They are awesome to deal with. Check out my link for them down below. There's a number of other sites that you can pick these up for. I'll make sure to link a couple of them down in the description. Bitcoin Merch, for instance, is a quick, easy way to pick one of these up. Of course, if you're buying it from one of these other sites, you're going to pay a slight markup, so just keep that in mind. Indiegogo is the cheapest, but it also might take the longest to get the device in your hands. So it depends on how long you want to wait as to if you want to pay the extra premium. Yeah, so that about wraps it up. This has really turned into a long one, but I really love this device. I highly recommend it, and if you have any questions and concerns, make sure to hit us up in the Misfit Mining Discord. There's always plenty of seasoned vets in there willing to help you out, and if you like the video, you know what to do. Smash that like button and subscribe for future content. Thanks for coming along, and enjoy the ride.